We're living in a weird time in video games right now. I think a lot of people don't understand exactly what's happening and what's going to happen in the future, but I do think that what we do understand is that there is going to be significantly more consolidation coming, and Sony and Microsoft are big players. Personally, I'm kind of shocked by Microsoft because what they're doing is kind of, and I saw this video and it kind of went viral, and there's an article about it too, where the guy was saying, Microsoft, what they're doing is basically pulling an Amazon, which is they can afford to take these losses with Game Pass forever if they want. And the reason why they're doing this is because at the end of the day, they know that they can continue to do that and offer all these games in Game Pass for $10-15 a month, and the competition can't afford to do that. They're forced to charge people $60-70 a piece for the games, and basically eventually that can kind of end up pushing some people out of the industry. Now, Microsoft, I look at them as sort of a tweener. If this were wrestling, they're good, they're bad. It's sort of a mix of both. So it's going to be interesting to see how that kind of plays out long term. But this announcement right here, it could be something right up Sony's alley, and I feel like it's something that everybody should be talking about. Yes, would be a buyout, but it would be a strange kind of buyout in my opinion, and one that I think a lot of people should talk about, because I do feel like it's definitely something that is going to be a hot topic for a while to come. Anyway, why don't we go ahead and get started? I'm Crap Gamer, and of course this is Crap Gamer Reviews, your home for gaming news, opinions, reviews, and much more. You'll probably notice some changes around here, but hopefully that doesn't stop you from giving us a like and possibly, maybe even consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. Thank you so much for choosing to spend some of your free time with me today. It means the world to me. And, I know you guys are all busy with, family, work, school, whatever. I'm just very appreciative. So please leave a like if you wouldn't mind. It's fantastic to hear from the people that are enjoying the content and stuff like that. So thank you guys very much. Now, we know that Sony has bought Bungie, right? And the interesting thing is that there's some stuff going on right now in the industry that is very much kind of up for interpretation, I guess, right? So one thing we know is that, and I said this a long time ago, is that streaming services aren't particularly what people want the majority of places, right? I understand that there is a large contingent that plays it in other places, but I'm speaking mostly of like North America and things like that. Like there's just not a big market for it, and that's a big reason why stuff like Stadia or xCloud or even PS Now have kind of failed to really grab on to anybody, any type of users or anything like that. And the main reason why I say that is, if we look at how this has always been presented, we see that it always continually fails, and now Stadia is apparently pretty much closing up shop. So Google is planning to actually repurpose Stadia technology by partnering with companies to white label the tech that powers the giant streaming service, according to Business Insider. According to the outlet, the new partnership will be rebranded from Stadia to Google Stream. Several companies, including Capcom and Bungie is set to be acquired by PlayStation, but it's actually exploring its own streaming platform. Now, this is interesting because Bungie still has the right, they can acquire things of their own since they're fully independent, to be honest with you. So that's very interesting to me, because Sony uses Azure, which is Microsoft's platform, for this type of thing. But it does look like, this is heavily rumored to actually take place. Would that be a big boon for Sony to have that technology? Supposedly it works good, but it's not something that I'm personally interested in. But it would be kind of interesting kind of reversal of fortunes if they were to actually get into that. So Google is also broadening its horizons and apparently talked to other companies such as exercise equipment company Peloton. Business Insider reports that conversations between the two companies include whether Peloton can be a back-end provider for games running on its line of fitness bikes. Of course, last June, Peloton announced its intention to launch an in-app fitness game. This is not the first time we've heard some negative news about Stadia. We know that they had already closed up all their exclusive shops and studios, and weren't focusing on that at all anymore. It's not the first time that they've pivoted the licenses out to its tech to other companies. Last October, AT&T was offering customers a chance to stream Batman Arkham Knight free of charge on Microsoft Edge or Google Chrome desktop browsers, and IGN received confirmation from both AT&T and Google that the game was being powered by the technology that Stadia uses. And the announcement that Google is pivoting to licensing out Stadia tech is interesting approach for the company. Stadia launched in November 2019, though roughly 3 years later, the company's cloud gaming platform has had a rocky road. In 2021 alone, Stadia's game director left to join Stadia Cloud, several employees left to join Haven Entertainment, and the head of product left the company entirely. Additionally, roughly a year ago, Google Stadia shuttered its internal game studios. So this is very interesting news, and it does look like Bungie might actually be interested in getting it. They claim that the actual consumer platform Stadia has totally been deprioritized completely. Some of these partners include Peloton, obviously, which I just said. Bungie, apparently interested in their own streaming platform. AT&T, obviously, as well. And the interesting thing here is that, you know, some of the people in there, like Mr. Phil Harrison, who has worked at Nintendo, or excuse me, has worked at Microsoft and Sony, and then also Stadia, has apparently moved back to England. So definitely not good signs for all this stuff to happen, but it would be maybe a pretty big deal if they were able to pick this up, I think. You know, and anything can happen at any particular time. So yeah, it's very interesting topic, and of course technology is constantly in flux and constantly changing. So, you know, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, just super interesting to hear this kind of come out like this. I knew that this would happen because if you guys remember, I said, hey, you know, like this stuff isn't going to last long, and people were like, oh, the tech is good, and it really doesn't have anything to do with the tech per se. It more has to do with you know, just people not wanting to game that way. You know, I mean, if you can think about it like this: video game services went up through the roof in terms of popularity. Like the Xbox and PlayStation and Switch were selling record-breaking numbers during the pandemic, and those services like Game Pass and PlayStation Plus and all these different places were just selling like hotcakes, and Google couldn't give Stadia away to anybody. Right? They're like literally like, hey, play Stadia, it's free, and nobody was interested in it whatsoever. So yeah, it's a very interesting situation that we're in, and you know, given the fact that Bungie can totally buy what they want due to the fact that you know due to the fact that they're basically independent, I think that it really just kind of says a lot about what's going on. So yeah, definitely a lot to talk about here, and a lot of people are clearly you know, interested in what's happening in the future with all of this. So yeah, we'll definitely get an idea for the future before too long. I think they'll probably know sooner rather than later. I don't personally know anybody that's like, oh my gosh, Stadia, you know what I mean? But I still think that, you know, it's just one of those things where people obviously I mean, there's got to be some kind of fans out there for this product, right? I don't know who. I'm not exactly sure who that would be. I don't know. You know, we'll see though. We'll see. You know, it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. With that being said, I'm going to link this in the description. You guys can check it out and let me know what you think. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, Crap Gamer 'em up. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. Crap Gamer out.